All right. So let's say we're going to do a C minor, okay, and it's going to be the relative sixth of E flat. So it would be over here. We'll get back to the rule in a second. We'll get to the rule. Actually, we want to keep the rule in view. C minor would be C, D, E flat, F, G, right? And in the key of E flat, here's your E flat, it would be the sixth, because this is the root, this is the seventh, and this is the sixth. Root, seventh, sixth. And by the way, it's fun to look at these patterns backwards. You know, get used to them going backwards too, aside from knowing that Dorian would start on the 2. You know what I'm saying? Occasionally it might be advantageous to know what ends on a root so you could take the pattern backwards. That's basic, and you could do that. That's just practice. You know, you could do it string by string kind of thing, where you go 6, 7 root, 7, 6, 7 root. You know, so you want to know the ends of the pattern. The in-betweens are that you can just play right through them sometimes. Okay, so we're going to do this C minor thing. We're going to give it its own number. So it's really the relative sixth. Okay, let's say the normal C minor is the relative sixth of, but actually we'll play it from down here. So this is the relative sixth of, okay, so it's down here, right? 6 is up here. So here we're in the 6th column here, R1. So we go 1, 2, flat 3, 4 to 5, right? What is that 5 note to the original parent scale? It may be obvious, but if it isn't, you use this formula, the -1 rule. And that is, the modal scale offset can be counted from 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The interval from the parent major key plus the offset -1 yields the original keynote. The interval from the parent key was a 6th. Okay, so you have to know what key you're playing in, and then you just choose one of the modes. It doesn't have to be minor. It can be any mode of the 3 minors or the 2 majors or the half diminished one. The rule says count now from there. So first we've got our scale tone chords that are part of the major scale itself. We have them, but then within each of them, say we got, and now this has. So if we're on the 5th of that one, you know, what is that note compared to the original? And that would have been the 7th just by inspection. But the rule says we're going to give these minors their own. See how all the ones go root to 1. The ones go all down here. You know, and then to come around to 2s. This is like Kramer's rule, you know, 2, flat 2, sorry. And around here, 3, the midterms that come around here. We got 4s down here, but then we come around here. You know, it's like matrix algebra or something. That you just use to check things. Hey, are all the ones in a row? Good. That just checks my logic, because believe me, I didn't just put 1s in a row and 2s. I used that to check. I was completely confused with most of this. So what it is you take the offset, you know, say we're on, say, the 6th of E minor of E flat. Okay, where 6 of E flat is C minor, and we go up, say, to the 5th. what is that fifth to the original parent? Of course it's the third, but what's the formula say? It says take 5 and subtract 1 from it. That's 4. And add 4 to the 6th degree that it was. You have to know where you're starting from. Add 4 to 6, and that's 10. Now subtract an octave. When you subtract an octave, you subtract 7. Okay? So, actually, if you didn't subtract 1 and you added them, it would be 11, and then you subtract 8, you'll still come up with the third. So G is indeed the third in E flat. However you want to do it, that's what it is. It's I found it only worked if I subtracted 1. If the added two numbers are less than an octave, that it may not work the other way. Alright, I just checked it. You have to follow this rule. Remember, the chart is right. This guy is wrong. You have to follow the rule. For instance, if you just play a C to a D, okay, but the C is the Aeolian sixth. Alright, so it's 1, 2. Subtract 2 and you get the number 1, but it's a sixth. What is this note? It's a sixth plus a 1 is a seventh, and indeed that is the seventh of E flat. So there it is. There it is. It works. It works. D is the seventh of E flat. If you go C to D, C to D. Let's say we're in the key of E flat here, right? So we've got E flat, G, B flat up to E flat again. We're in the minor Aeolian sixth, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're in that Aeolian sixth. We're going to play from C to D. What is D to that original key? Obviously it's the seventh by inspection, but if you do the rule, we're going to give this little mini scale, is only 2 notes long. We'll give it its own numbers. 1, 2. Subtract 1. Get 1. Add it to the sixth. Just add the number 1 to the number sixth, and you get the seventh of E flat. So that's what that rule says. It works. It's just a way to figure it out. I had to figure it out, so I figured it out. You can put it in a computer, but the bottom line is, I'm still looking at this the sixth as this 6 here, or this 6 here, and it's the same thing. So if we're in the key of E flat, the sixth of E flat is that C minor, okay? 6. Starting on this 6, it would go 6, 7, R, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3 to root. Root here. This root is E flat. See, in my key, in my guitar, it's down tuned 2 whole notes. So down from G, 2 whole steps is E flat. That doesn't scare piano players. I've been playing piano for over 50 years. Even when I was little, right? And so E flat didn't scare me, but it did bother me that there was an E flat and an A flat on my on the open strings. I couldn't see them. I couldn't see them, so I was worried. But if you just play it up here a little bit, if you're a little unsure of yourself, you just play your scale up here, and it works. This thing's out of tune.